Good day, everyone. Hi. So I just wanted to do. It's been a 1 year since I did my 100 days of prayer and fasting, and I was just like, it's more like 100 days of just fasting and prayer that the Lord called me to do. I didn't. I don't. No, He led me to do that. And I just remember it was like December 31st, and it was like a few days before I was like hit, like him saying about doing this fast, and I was just like, okay. And then he was like, he gave me the time frame, and I like started counting, and I'm like, it's a long time, but it was awesome. And he did so much during that time, just like me being more bold, and when it came to like ministering, witnessing to souls, and me just overcoming things, and believing things for like health wise, and it was just a really like an awesome time, and how he just kept me during that time, and it was doing something in me, and so I just was thinking about it, because I was reading in the Old Testament, and I came to Numbers chapter 6, and it was just talking about um, if a man or woman comes to God to do a consecration, and it started like just speaking to me about that time, and because if you read it, it's talking about like as a Nazarite, and it also was saying, and then I remember earlier before that he did tell me to do a study of Nazarite, and I did kind of a bit of it, but I didn't do like a full study like for me. But he so when I was like actually in number 6 at the time, I saw how it was just talking more about, it just was a separation, a consecration unto God. Samson is the only one who was like called to be a Nazarite from birth, but in Numbers you can see that a man or woman can come to God as a separation, a consecration to do unto the Lord. And in the Moses, back then when Moses was given, he was given instruction about what they couldn't eat, what they couldn't drink, what they couldn't do. And it was like so similar what God was doing with me. Like he would say, you can't eat this. Like I had like still written down everything that he was like, what I couldn't eat, what I couldn't drink. And I would even go out, and I just get the nudging, like saying like, oh, can't eat that, don't drink that. It was just like so many instructions that he was giving me on things, and I see how now how he was just really doing that also about changing my diet, and not emotionally eating, and not giving into like the spirit of gluttony, overcoming certain things. And I think a lot of people, especially in the body of Christ, have probably a lot of us with appetites, and with gluttony, or so like for example for myself, of course, like I'm more, I'm not going to defile God's temple, by fornicating or masturbating or anything like that. But you might, giving over to gluttony, like you overeating, or you putting things in your body that is going to lead to disease. It's not going to help your body. And it's like those type of foods, like some people know the food is bad, and like type 2 diabetes is one disease that you literally can overturn, like you could cure yourself from by changing your diet. Like I've seen it happen so many times. And like so many people witness like that, they just change it. I had a family member who actually had went and cut certain things out and went to the doctor, and the doctor was like, oh, you basically cured your diabetes. And so I'm like, imagine just seeing, like so many things we put in our bodies that we know it's not good for us. And if you don't know, it's like, do some research. Like it was made in a lab, like Beyond Meat was made in a lab. And that's just one of the meats that people think, oh, they do an alternative and they think that's going to be actually something better, but it actually isn't. And it was made in a lab. It's lab meat. It's not even real. And he just really wanted to deal with me about certain things, and and to have that time of separation, consecration just for him. And it wasn't just but the food, also like I couldn't go certain places. Like he didn't want me to just have that time where he was just dealing with me, and also hearing his voice and taking instructions. I seen a post on I'm gonna see if I can share it, like reshare it on my page. That a young lady, Christian lady, put up, and it was so funny. It was saying about how you know want like instruct like some type of thing from God, and then like you read the Old Testament, but only thing you get is how to build an ark, or it was really funny, and it was just like me, because when I'm going through it, I'm like it was so right on. But what I'm actually understanding is God gives instruction. He's very detailed. And if you go through the Old Testament, you will see that a lot when it comes to building the temple, the Ark of the Covenant, everything that day he gives the Ark, with the priests and everything like that. He's very giving instruction in detail. And he was really just teaching me also during that time how to, when he gives the instruction, how like he to it and to go forth with it, and just be sensitive to his voice. And also I'm really got that, like I said, back to where your diet. And I think that's a lot with us, and as children of God, it's like we have issues with our appetite, and you think that, oh, I don't be drinking, or I don't do certain things, but it's like it's one area, and I found out that's a lot, and that was like one of mine as well. And just knowing that what we put in our bodies, what we're going to get out. If we giving it good things and stuff like that, real food, we and not all fake foods. Like I seen a video where it was literally the guy was taking hot like lava, it was like pouring it over a Big Mac, and how like especially the meat was not disintegrating. And then I see the blowtorch to an Oreo, and how it was not disintegrating. And so I think that was definitely something that God wants us to understand about taking care of our temple, our bodies, which is his temple. And so he definitely dealt with me with that. And like I say, I also, like, he would have me do certain things. Like he would say, go here and and like pray for the souls, or different things that he would have me do, that I was just like, I don't want to do that by myself, And so finding me on the streets of New York City, and praying and declaring the cream of thing, and like going forth and over my community, and doing that, and doing it by myself. Because I was just like, can I get a buddy? Can I ask Tasha, my cousin Tasha, to come with me? And he was like, no. And so, and for me to go out and do that, I don't know, for other people, they might just have that more zeal and that boldness, but I wasn't, that's not me. And so having that more boldness, and having that, and seeing now where, if he leading me to it or whatever, and I just come out and I just was like, let me pray for you, or do you know Jesus, being more, going forth. And so I just went through like just a whole process during that time, and how he kept me do that when I got because April 8th was the last day, and it actually was during the eclipse and time, and just how he, kept me, and how I came, and I was just like, oh, because when I first heard it, because it started on December 31st, which is New Year's Eve, and like my mom always do like a big New Year's Eve dinner and cooking, and I'm like, I can't eat that. And it was good. And so it's good to turn down your plate and to do that. And I was seeing an article where it was just talking about that. It's like we all called to be Nazarites. We all called to live our life consecrated unto God. And whatever that consecration at that time be for you, but we all called to live holy. That's number one. We live to call to be holy, for he is holy. But also whatever it is that he might be giving you at that time. Like he might, like for me, that was specifically time frame and things that he gave for me. It might be different from you, but it's always a time for separation and consecration, like where it's just you with God and what he wanted to do in you. But I just wanted to like just update on that, because when I did the video, I felt like I didn't give more into it, and then I got more understanding of this when I was like I said, when I was in the book of Numbers, and I got to chapter 6. So you can find that in number 6, chapter 6, 1 to 21. And as always, I leave scriptures and different things like that in the Bible, because you always want to look at the word yourself for yourself. And yeah, so it was an awesome time, and I'm just thankful for the Lord that I was obedient and I went through it and stuff like that. So it's definitely a core for you if you haven't, because I've been doing fasting and praying and having that time out, especially when God leads me and He leads me to go to a fast, and then I would have time where I would just I would do a fast. I understand fasting and prayer for me helps me to be more, disciplined and more focused. Like when I feel like I'm not, I turn down my plate, or a situation arises and comes up, I would go forth and I would fast and pray. And a biblical fast is not eating for, let's say, for all food for a certain amount of time. But you can do other fasts with it. Like I have done fasts when I had turned down my plate, but then I would not be on social media. Or I would, certain things like that, or I wouldn't watch TV. And I found that during that time, I don't really have this big desire to watch TV like that anymore. Most likely I would watch a movie or something like that, and that would be like on Sundays or something because I work on Saturdays. So usually by the time I come home, it's not like a big deal to watch them. But I don't really find to really have that desire, like I gotta turn on TV, like as soon as I come into, I gotta watch TV, or I gotta be on. I don't really have that. And the same with social media. And I believe everything came back to when He put me through that time of prayer and fasting, that consecration unto Him, that time with Him. And He just dealt with a lot of things at that time. And yeah, so if that, one, you want to be led by God, but also, it's a time you could do where you could say, well, I'm gonna turn down my plate, I'm gonna pray and fast, I'm gonna turn off the TV, I'm gonna get off social media, whatever, how long that went. It might not have to be 100 days for you, but He told me 100 days, and I had some work, I needed some work done, so, But, and so also, and then just have that time when you're just seeking God. And if you're not fasting and praying, this is definitely a time to do. And then this has been for me since November of 2023, where I really been called to be led to fast and pray, and just knowing that I need to do that, because I see what happens when I do that spiritually, what it does for me, and helping me in things like overcoming things, deliverance, like all type of things have happened when I fast and pray. And so this was just like a follow-up video where I wanted to give a little more detail of that time. And that, so just be encouraged, be transformed. And you go and do some prayer and fasting and some separation with God. He's definitely transforming you. And do not quit the process. I keep telling myself that all the time. Do not quit the process. This time is going. I'm not doing it. I ain't quitting. I ain't backing down. I ain't bowing down. Only bow down to God. That's about it. I ain't going to give up at all. And so I just wanted to share that and encourage you to definitely have a prayer and fasting time if you're not. It helps. It really helps a lot. And then just go through the scriptures, like it says. Even when Jesus was saying some of these don't come out, let's do prayer and fasting. And you could see a lot in the Old Testament where a lot of time when they was coming up against whether it was war, whatever they was going to do, they would seek the Lord, they would turn on their plate. Esther is a great one right there. That fast, I like to call it the Esther fast, but as you go through the Bible, you will see other people had some like similar time where they, no food and water for 3 days and 3 nights. But I just like playing the Esther fast because that's the first time I ever heard of it when I first started getting the scripture and stuff, and was led to do it. And I got an answer. I was doing it. I didn't even really understand fully it. I just know I was like led to do it and study Esther. And then when I did it, this was like some years ago. I recently did another one, but this was like years ago when I did it, and I didn't really fully understand. I was just like really coming back to God and like really, and I will never forget that what I was praying for. I started the fast, and it was so funny. It was Mother's Day weekend. I'm like literally making my mom Mother's Day dinner, and I couldn't eat it. And then also, I went to like a Mother's Day thing at the school for my nephew, and they had so much stuff. They like, you don't want, and I was like, no, thank you. I'm good. So I just remember that day, but I just remember the grace that I had to, like, he gave me to do it. And the fast ended that midnight, that the next that Monday, the next day after Mother's Day. And I remember just not being so hungry when I woke up. Like, I wasn't like ready to hurry up and eat anything. I just drank water. I was just more thirsty. And when I recently did it again, I that was it. I was just more thirsty, and then I would literally feel like, oh, okay, and then I would like touch my belly, or I would just say, out of my belly shall springs rivers of water, and I would really feel like I wasn't thirsty anymore. Like, no, like I would not feel thirsty, and I was not feeling so hungry and things like that. Like the recent time I did it, it was like maybe the last day as when I started to feel a little more hungry. And then of course you have the word, but every time I was feeling so thirsty and dry, like I would just say, out of my belly shall flow rivers of water, and if I literally got like refreshed. And it's just awesome and powerful. Like, God is so real and so great. And so when I got to the end of that, that first time I did what I call the Esther fast, the first time I did it, that Monday afternoon, like the fast ended, and that Monday morning I got up and I just had water, and then like that, and then I finally ate some food. That afternoon, what I was praying God for, I got the answer. Literally the call came in, and it was like this or this. It was about a job and things like that. But yeah. So I just wanted to encourage you about definitely fasting and praying. I just, like I said, I wanted to give a little more understanding about that time when I did the 100 days of prayer and fasting. And so, be blessed, be transformed, be encouraged. Like, comment, and subscribe, share with someone, and check out the description box below. Until next time, bye.